y'all, welcome back to Spirit of the Outdoors. What you're seeing here is the beginnings of my back patio. I've mentioned in a couple other videos that I had this project on my mind, needing mainly a place to store dry firewood throughout the winter so that I can walk out the back door, grab firewood. It's got a roof over it, it's dry, I can stack it anytime, it'll cure there. It's just better. Another thing is a place to do my outdoor cooking. I want to build eventually a fireplace with a swing-in crane and all of that stuff to cook. But probably for right now, we're going to design a fire pit up there in the back of it. But still, a long ways in the future, the biggest project right now is getting this built. We're going to build it all timber framed out of round pine poles. You see this right here? You see these holes in here? The bugs have already got into this tree. I'm not sure if it's hurt, if I'll be able to use it, but I cut it last fall. These two I cut last fall. They were in my way. The two trees laying down that I'm using for sawhorses or log horses or whatever you want to call them is the tree that the storm blew down here. So I'm using them to lay my poles up on so that I can peel them, keep them up off the ground. These two laying down, this tree is in too rough a shape to use for anything really. Too knotty to make lumber and such as that. I'll come after the end of this video and zoom in and let you see these bugs, or I'll throw a clip in here of them. I wanted you to see, like right in behind here, there is a little worm right there. And none of this is very deep. None of them are. You can see down in that one, there's a little bug right in there. Let me find some that's a little better. Okay, here's a good specimen right up here on the top. You see that little critter right down in there? That is the little fellow we are dealing with. Very small, very destructive. And you see none of these holes yet are very deep. They just all right here. So I think I can salvage this, may even give it some character. But what I'm going to do is the Japanese fire technique. I was unsure if you could do this with pine. I had a couple of different ideas. The first idea that I came up with was we have some scrap I-beam. It's an old project that was torn down. It was a metal rack years ago. It's been piled up in basically a scrap pile, but not a throwaway scrap pile, but like a scavenger pile for 10, 15 years. Nothing been done with it. And I was gonna cut those up in like 3-foot sections and weld a plate on either end. So that one would be the bottom and I would put it down in a hole and it wouldn't shove that I-beam on down in the ground with the weight. It would have a foot on it. The other end I was going to drill holes in and I was going to lag bolt it to the bottom of whatever I used for a post. And then I could just stand the whole thing up, pour concrete around the middle, and then this would be 3-4 inches up out of the ground. I could pour concrete around it. But Mr. Jack Jarman told me to go watch Smoky Mountain Outpost. Y'all need to, if you're interested in building like this, go check out that channel. I just recently discovered it through him. He told me about it and I went and watched it, and this guy is in Tennessee. I'm assuming Tennessee, somewhere there in the Smoky Mountains. And he is building out of pine logs like this, putting them in the ground, burning the bottoms of them. The old Japanese fire technique. So you go back in my file, and back when I first started this YouTube channel, I built a pole barn out there where I skin all of my critters. That's my trapping, skinning stuff. Now I skin my deer and process my fish that we're eating mostly over in the skinning shack. But stuff like skunks and raccoons that I'm skinning and coyotes, I skin up here under a side shed where my chicken brooder coop and all this. I built all that out of round timber frame, just like I'm gonna build this, but I use sweet gum poles. This year I had to cut the bottoms of them off right at the dirt and jack that roof up and put brick under them, make a pad to sit it on, because it had finally started to rot. But what I did not do was really burn that enough. I took the torch in the one and just charred blackened the edges of it about 4 foot and put that in the ground. And it did not work well on that. This, we're gonna build an actual fire right here under the end of these logs once they're all peeled that are going in the ground. Now some of these will be the beams up in the air. I will take the torch and the one and char the edges of all of them, just blacken them. And then I'm probably gonna rub them with some type of oil. I'm not sure exactly what oil I'm gonna use. If any of you have any really good suggestions, I have a good bit of burnt motor oil, but I don't want to turn them black. And I know that it won't truly just blacken it, but it'll make it a little darker than I want. Now I could dilute that with something. I have a good bit of hydraulic oil. It's very thin. I think it would penetrate. I don't know if that'll work. I may go buy something like Thompson's Water Seal or whatever else and put on there. I know that guy at Smoky Mountain Outpost is rolling something on with a paint roller. I may look into what he's actually using and go that route. But I will seal most of this stuff before I put it in the ground. But the post will mainly be charred, and I think that's the route I want to go. I have the ability to where if that in the ground rots in time, I can pour the hole full of mud, full of concrete, and cut this thing off above where it rots and set it on some kind of a block and be fine. Or I can cut another post and put another post in the hole. Because I have a tractor, we can pick up the roof. I can put a beam under it with a bottle jack and jack them up one at a time. I know how to swap those out if they rot. So that's the route I'm gonna do right now. I wanna try to build it, charring them and putting them right in the ground, and that's what I'm gonna do. So what you're gonna see here is me bringing posts down and building this. Now this will be a pretty long series. Obviously I'm gonna work on it a little here, there, and yonder as I get time. And so I'll get all of my poles peeled, get them charred, get them done, cured like the way I want them, let them sit here and dry a little bit. I'm not really worried about them being dry to put them up. I can build the thing with them green and let it dry in the air. And I think these pine, when you char this in, that rosin in it will solidify around these edges and really seal it better. So it's probably good to do that with them green, which these two are not green anymore. They've been here laying on the ground over yonder all winter. Cut them in the fall. So they've got a couple of months that they've been laying around, and I'll zoom in here in a minute. I want you to see how these bugs did. Some of you may have not have seen this before. This is basically beetles that get in here. I don't really think this is termites. However, when I was peeling them, I peeled half of them laying over yonder, and then I took my old tractor. I got a boom pole on the back of it, drug all this over here and set it up with that boom pole. And I didn't film any of that. I kind of wished I did. I will get some footage of me doing that with some of the other ones because I'll be doing a good bit more of it. But I'll let y'all take a look. I did see termites, though, what I was going to say over there when I was peeling and some of that bark. So that's part of getting this up off the ground and getting the bark off of it. If you leave the bark on something you're using, it's going to run. I know y'all seen me build that table down yonder, and I just threw that together. I'm probably going to redo some legs for that thing and out of some of these drops and build me some like really nice legs that's all the same length and take them down there and reassemble that. That's why I didn't really put a lot of effort into what I was doing. I threw the table together to make some videos. So I do know how to build out of this stuff, and I am still learning. I don't know everything. If y'all got some good suggestions, tips, more than happy for you to drop me some advice. But I did want to document building this thing. It'll take me several months to get this built, working on a little here, there, and yonder. So anyway, we're going to probably let this be it for today on this because I have done peeled all of these, and I'm not going to cut any more today. So y'all, one thing I did fail to mention, I wanted you to see, this is a log peeler. I see a lot of people, even the guy at Smoky Mountain Outpost, peeling all those logs with a draw knife. Draw knife works. If you want to use a draw knife, use it. But this is another option. This is a log peeler. This is what the old timers used back in the day when they was peeling a lot of logs. And I found this one at a local hardware store, very well made. And you can see it had a sticker said made in the USA. Now actually it says assembled in the USA. But anyway, you can tell that it is well designed. That is thick metal, and that's what that thing is good for. It gives you where you ain't humped over on your back, and you can run that down through there and peel that really, really good. So I just wanted to show you all that. And all this bark, I wanted to mention all this bark that's coming off will be used for kindling under here to burn the end of these. So all of this resource is being used. Not gonna waste nothing hardly. So thank y'all for watching Spirit of the Outdoors. Remember, the best way to do things is the way you like to do it. We'll see y'all. Y'all have a good one.